And here we go. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pulse of Ithaca podcast, your local podcast for entertainment in the greater Ithaca, New York area. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sean, your host, and joining me is my ever-knowledgeable co-host, Pete. This week we'll be discussing some upcoming concerts in Ithaca and exploring Hammond Hill State Forest. Let's get started.
Yeah! Sean, my man.
Pete, how you been? How was your New Year's? We have a special time of the year episode for us.
That's right, man. My New Year's was awesome. Thanks for asking. Kind of low-key.
Yep.
Kicked it around the house a little bit. Each year, my wife and I have a tradition. We stream the Fish Show live from MSG, so that was a lot of fun. They played Gamehenge, which hadn't been performed since 1994.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a real treat for all the Fish fans out there.
Do some deep math right there.
Yeah, we had a great time. It's low-key, we hang out. But we like being home. We like listening to Fish, so it was a really good time. How was your New Year's?
It was low-key as well. I did not make it to midnight, but I did do a hike with you, my friend, which we will get to later in the episode.
That's right. Yes, we did. You got me off the couch and through the woods.
And we found snow.
That's right. We did.
We had to look hard, but we found it.
Good stuff. All right. Well, 10 minutes from now, we're going to be discussing the hike that we took, and such a cool spot. Glad I was able to get out there with you. Really looking forward to talking about that. Before we get into that, though, we're going to talk about just a couple of shows that are coming up soon. January is kind of a tough month for the music industry, the entertainment industry, at least. And here in Ithaca, where we live, it seems like, a lot of the people who work in the service industry that we know take some time off over the holidays, which is well-deserved. They don't take a lot of time off throughout the year, so they take some time to catch their breath and take a break. And then January is kind of slow, generally for shows, at least around these parts. But we do have a couple of great nights of music coming up, so let's dive into it. Deep Dive. We seem to kick off the show every week with this.
It's a good place to start, though.
It's a good place to start. They've always got something going on. Even though they don't have any nationally touring acts coming in this week, they do have an evening of music with 3 different bands. So on Wednesday, January 10th, they're bringing you a lineup that's sure to resonate with every jazz and music enthusiast out there. Kicking off at 6 p.m., you can ease into the evening with Deep Dive's Jazz Happy Hour. Nice. Imagine yourself sipping on your favorite drink as you're serenaded by the smooth and soulful sounds of Greg LaFaro and the Firefly Trio. Their music isn't just a performance, it's an experience that transports you to a world where every note tells a story. And then as the clock strikes 8, the atmosphere shifts. The Deep Dive Big House Band takes the stage, hosted by the renowned Professor Greg Evans. This isn't just any big band, though. It's a gathering of some of the finest musicians from the area, ready to deliver a performance that's rich, vibrant, and utterly captivating. So the Deep Dive House Band, they're a testament to the timeless allure of big band music, bringing together classic charm and contemporary flair. So, but the night doesn't end there.
Okay.
They've actually got 3
going.
bands playing, and right after the Deep Dive House Big Band's exhilarating performance, stick around for the People's Jam, hosted by the talented Drew Martin. This is where the magic of improvisation comes alive. Musicians and music lovers alike come together in a spontaneous celebration of music, creating moments that are unique, unforgettable, and entirely in the moment. So
nice.
We have a lot of friends who go to this. This happens fairly oftenly. I want to say it's every Wednesday or every other Wednesday that they do something similar to this. So it's just, we haven't really profiled it a lot here on the show because there's been so much else going on, but I felt like this week was a really good chance to, give them their props.
Totally.
So definitely check that out. The best part about this is there's no cover charge. They do have $5 wine specials.
Woot woot.
So don't miss out on this local night of music. It's not a night to miss. So deepdiveithaca.com.
Sweet.
Check it out. I was also super excited to see that the State Theatre actually has a couple shows coming up this month. And today we're just going to talk about one of them. But there hasn't been a ton of shows there over the past few weeks. I think they had maybe 1 or 2 shows in December. So really excited to hear that the Music Box, which commemorates the 50th anniversary of Genesis, Selling England by the Pound is the name of the show.
Okay.
And it's happening January 12th at the State Theatre. And I just want to try to set the stage for you a little bit for this, because I was like checking this out and I wasn't exactly sure what it was. But picture this, okay? It's 1973. The world of rock is about to be forever transformed by the groundbreaking album Selling England by the Pound by Genesis. And this album didn't just make waves, it created a tidal wave in rock history with its innovative sound and its theatrical flair. So you fast forward now to 2024, and the magic of Genesis is being resurrected in a spectacular fashion. The Musical Box, renowned for their extraordinary recreations of Genesis performances, is commemorating the 50th anniversary of this iconic album.
Genesis has been around for 50 years.
Yeah, dude.
Now I feel old.
Yes. But, the Music Box isn't just any tribute band. They're a time machine transporting us back to the 70s with their meticulous attention to detail. They've even shared the stage with legends like Phil Collins and Steve Hackett, earning accolades from over 1 million spectators worldwide. So imagine experiencing the magic of London's Royal Albert Hall or Paris's Olympia right here at the State Theatre of Ithaca. So, I mean, it's pretty awesome. They're doing a great job just bringing world-class musicians to us. And there was actually, I looked up, there was a couple of quotes by Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins, and they were just really kind of a testament to what a big deal this show is. So let me just read those real quick. So,
sure.
Peter Gabriel said, "The Musical Box recreated very accurately, I must say, what Genesis was doing. I saw them in Bristol with my children so they could see what their father did back then." And then Phil Collins went on to say, his quote was, "They're not a tribute band. They have taken a period and are faithfully reproducing it in the same way that someone would do a theatrical production."
Okay.
So, looks like it's going to be a good time. Hearing those words of Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins, it's clear that the Musical Box is more than just a band. They're custodians of a legacy and a bridge between generations, allowing new audiences to experience the music of Genesis. So, really excited about that. It's being presented by DSP Shows. I checked the website today, stateofithaca.org. There were still tickets available. They ranged anywhere from $35 to about $55.
Okay, very cool.
So that's it for what's going on, pretty much. Only a couple of shows, but still a lot of music packed in there. And so excited for this upcoming couple of weeks here in Ithaca.
Nice.
So tell me, what are you looking forward to in 2024? I figured we'd talk a little bit about plans for the year. I know I have some festivals and concerts I want to go to. Tell me, what do you have going on this year?
That's a tough question. It's an easy question, but it's a tough question. Dude, more shows.
Okay, right on. Yes.
More hiking adventures.
Yes.
And so I was doing this recap of 2023.
Yes, I saw it.
All right. And I was like, dude, I'm like, what happened in 2023? I kind of recap this like in 90 seconds. And like, I have these pictures like from 2023, like chronologically. And I was like, damn, I did a lot in 2023. And it was like, it actually made me happy, like, go through these pictures of seeing like all these people that have like touched my life, that I've gotten to know, like you included. Like, I feel like our friendship and this podcast started in 2023.
Absolutely, yeah, just a few months ago.
Yeah, which is weird. It was crazy because I feel like I'm like talking with this guy at the bar. I can't remember his name. It's super easy, and I feel like a jerk. I can't remember this like super easy name, but like I feel like I really have this really good like conversational connection with this guy.
Absolutely.
And I don't remember the verbiage, but I said something along the lines like, "Dude, we should like bottle this up and like make a podcast out of this."
That's right. You did. You were like, "We should hit the record button." And it was pretty much the same thing every week, right? It was like I was telling you about what kind of shows we were going to. You were telling me what kind of hiking you were looking forward to doing.
I'm like, "Hey, this is like podcast material." And we're like, "Well, I got the headphones and like all like the equipment to make this podcast. We could actually do that." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. Let's do it."
That's right.
So, yeah, I'm totally looking for like what 2024 could bring out of the blue. Like 2023 brought us together.
Absolutely.
At this podcast at the bike bar.
Yeah, we've definitely been having a good time.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'd like to say, it's been awesome for me. I've definitely been more active since we started this podcast, so it's really been kind of fun for me. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, one question I had for you. It
Sure.
looks like from looking through your pictures from last year and what you were talking about, it looks like you do some excursions throughout the year where you go out of town and you go to are they like mountain biking festivals? Are they like what is going on? I feel like there's like beer mountain people jumping off ramps at mountain bike, like hitting the trails, drinking beer and camping. Is that like a culture out there that exists?
I feel like we should do an episode that's like a bio for Pete and Sean. For bio for Sean, I love bikes, I love the outdoors, and I love beer.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I look forward to Oktoberfest, like in the Catskills, because it's mountain biking and beers. I just love being outdoors, having a good time. I love just hanging out with people. I love people with good energy.
Absolutely.
And then you kind of like bringing me into that circle of the music scene in Ithaca, which I knew was huge. I knew that from when I first moved to Ithaca, but I didn't have like the access pass.
Right.
That you kind of like laid out for
or
me.
like a group of people to come hang out with.
Exactly.
It would just
it's
be like you going by yourself.
I don't really know this band. I know the place, I know the show. Like I'll go with a couple of friends, but like you were been like the VIP access to like all these bands that like you talk about on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to getting you out more next year. I think this has been great. And I hope for all of our listeners out there, I hope that you're getting a little piece of this too. So if you're not used to getting out for shows, I hope that you're finding out about some exciting shows in the area. If you're getting into hiking, or if you're an avid hiker, I hope that we've introduced you to some unique spots. And that brings us into our next topic.
Yes. So what we did, so this was actually a little different. So usually I tell you about a hiking spot.
That's right. Each week I come to you, I say, Sean, tell me about a spot.
Yes. A spot that you've not been to. And so the spot we're talking about today in tonight's episode is Hammond Hill, which is like in Dryden area.
That's right. Yeah, it's not too far. Was it 7-8 miles outside of town?
Yeah, it's a quick drive outside of Ithaca.
15-minute drive.
Yep. Hammond Hill is pretty popular. It's over 2,000 acres of land. Has tons of activities you can do. You can do hiking. You do mountain biking, you do cross-country skiing, not quite yet because there's not enough snow.
Yeah, there was no snow.
You can camp out there. There's tons of natural beauty. It's a pretty cool spot. But we did a excursion out there New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's right. I texted you. I said, "Hey, what's going on this weekend?" In fact, I think I had an idea. I texted you. I said, "How can we go outdoors? Let's do something outdoors tomorrow."
Yeah.
And a few weeks ago, we went snowboarding. I know that you've been doing some mountain biking, and you texted me back and you're like, "Hey, I was going to go actually do a recon mission for the podcast and check out Hammond Hill." And I had just recently gotten this new mountain bike, so I saw they had mountain bike trails out there. Right. I was like, "Yeah, let's go mountain biking." And you were like, "Well." What did you say to me?
I was like, we've had so much rain in the last week. I'm like, it's probably just mud paste all over the place. Let's go out there and just check it out. Surprisingly, it wasn't that muddy.
No, it wasn't. And we did see some people on bikes out there.
We saw some people on fat bikes, which was really cool. We saw people hiking, walking their dogs.
Running with their dogs.
Yep. And we just kind of did like a out and back excursion, made a fire.
Yeah, we did make a fire. And let me just set the stage here a little bit. I drove, and it was about 10, 15 minutes from my house. We didn't exactly know where we were going because I think you'd been there once before.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
But you weren't real familiar with the area, and so we just put it into my GPS. We headed out there. All of a sudden, we're on some random road. We're not really sure where we're going. We see a parking lot on the right. Mm-hmm. There was actually a few cars there.
Yeah.
And what was exciting for me is you kind of showed me the ropes a little bit. I'm not much of a hiker, for everyone out there who knows me, but it was cool. You were I was basically like a tourist out there.
Okay.
You showed me how to look at the map.
Right. Take a picture of the map.
Because we're not going to have cell coverage, which we didn't within
correct
5 minutes of walking.
And we kind of set a goal of all right, there's all these trails. We can really, I think there's almost 20 miles of trails there.
Yeah, that's right. There are.
So we're all right, we have to kind of this is what we're planning to do. We're all right, there's a creek here. We'll go to the creek. build a fire,
Yes.
and then that's like a point of reference.
And that was my favorite part. Like, for those of you who are new to hiking, like, I picked up a couple of things from this trip, and it was basically like, number one, check out the map and take a picture so you know where you're going. Pay attention to the trail signs. And then number two, setting a destination I thought was really cool.
Okay.
We were like, well, we want to have a fire, but the fire needs to be 150 feet away from the water. Right. So, I was like, oh, well, the source of water is just cool to have in case you want to like fill up a bucket to put out the fire or whatever you have to do, or just to have a destination. Sure. So I really appreciated having the destination. And then the sites were really good. And we'll share some pictures with everybody with our Instagram account. Check it out, The Pulse of Ithaca. We've got a few really cool pictures that we took out there. Yeah, and, absolutely. I'd just like to say, thanks for taking me out. That was super fun. It's my pleasure. That was a great way to end 2023, and I'm totally looking forward to 2024. All the shows coming up this coming year, all the outdoor adventures. Absolutely. And yeah, super excited for what this year is going to unfold. Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, I hadn't been on a hike like that. We're both using Strava, which is an app for those of you who know or don't know. We'll share links to that in our bio as well. We'd love to connect with you on Strava. I think our hike was about 4.5 miles round trip. We did about an hour and a half of walking. I think it was. There was a lot of incline, and we. I was pretty winded. We did have to take a couple stretching breaks there at certain points. There was the thing I liked about that. It was mostly uphill, but uphill and downhill on the way to the spot that we picked. Right. And then on the way back, it was mostly downhill with a little bit of like uphill. So that was really cool to have the easy short ride back. Yeah. On the way back. Yeah. So. Really good stuff. All right, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share before we wrap things up here today? I don't think so. All right, good stuff. Well, I would like to thank all of our listeners here. I was checking out our statistics on Podbean. Yes. And, we've had such a great, outpouring of support from a lot of different people. 100%. We've been out a couple of times, and people. Our listeners have been great. We did have. I looked at our metrics the other day. We had our most listened to episode last week. Yes. We had over 100 listeners, which was really great. Yeah. And I think a lot of that was due to Chris O'Brien being on the show from Giant Panda Gorilla Dub Squad. So shout out to him for joining us last week. And so please, people say to me, hey, how can I support you? Like, how can we support the show? And I think the best thing that people can do is, if you're listening to the podcast, follow us on whatever platform that you're on. Hit the follow button, smash that notification button so that you get notified. We only post once every couple of weeks. So it goes a long ways in helping us grow the platform here. And we're looking forward to doing more interviews this year. Yes. Yeah, we got our maiden voyage. Yeah. But yeah, we're looking to evolve, and it's definitely going to happen with the help with Ithaca's feedback. Yeah, absolutely. And as more bands come in this year into town, we're definitely going to be trying once a month to interview any nationally touring bands that are coming through the area. So really looking forward to bring you all that. So. That pretty much wraps up another episode of the Pulse of Ithaca podcast. Again, thank you for your support. We realize you have a lot of ways to spend your time. Thank you for spending it with us. Yes, thank you guys. And if you have an event or a story or a local favorite spot that you want us to cover, reach out to us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, keep your finger on the pulse of Ithaca, and thank you for making this place we call home. Take care, everyone.